We're like, you don't need a label anymore, man. Like, you just need to promote yourself and work your butt off, right? And,
Yeah.
You know, but so we gave everyone the stuff back at that point. You know. That was '95 though. Yeah.
I think I got, first, maybe Elemental, probably about 99.
99, yeah. I got into the industry in '89. That was by fluke. Rhyme Syndicate was looking for Asian dudes to be in the group.
Really?
Yeah.
Rhyme Syndicate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're like, we're trying to make a group called the United Nations Committee. So it was me, Simple from the Mexicans.
Okay.
Then we had two guys from Minneapolis. One guy was Kelsey. He was from the IRM crew, who was the first group to ever press a record out from Minnesota. So he was like the father of like all those guys. Atmosphere, and like, that's their like old school like Grandmaster Caz basically. Yeah. So he was part of that crew. I had no idea back then. I was just like, who's this dope dude? He's like schooling us like we're like little kids because we're like, he's like telling us like, y'all need to be more professional, like whatever. I sell drugs and stuff. I don't want to do this no more. Like we're just like, why are you so bitter? And like, he'd been doing it for years. You know what I mean? And we were like young dudes, and he had been putting out records since the early '80s. So, but he was dope. Yeah, Roger Troutman Jr. produced our first demo. Yeah. He got us. We recorded it at Paisley Park, Prince's studio.
Nice.
Yeah, because the first studio we went to, the real machine needed to be calibrated. So Roger Troutman Jr. was like, I know somebody. He called me. All right, we're going to Prince's studio. We're like, what? We're like, well, you got it like that. You're Roger's son.
Yeah.
I mean, rest in peace. He ended up, passing early too. But yeah. That was pretty mind blowing for my first experience, but I had no idea what it meant to make a record or whatever,
Even like who you're around and like just that's crazy.
I was so naive. I was like, I'm running with Ice-T. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be a star. Like I'm gonna make money. You know what I mean? I just thought instant. He's one of the most famous rappers at the time.
Right.
Household name, right? Between him and NWA. You're just like, and of course he had Cop Killer and all that.
That was already out.
Yeah. That was around. I think around that time in 1990 or something when he did Cop Killer. It was like, well, he's taking a lot of heat for that. Like we're taking a lot of heat for being associated with it.
I met Ice-T out in New York. I actually helped record Mark. I don't know if you know Mark Live.
Mark Live?
Yeah, he's part of the Analog Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Mark Moog.
Okay.
Mark Moog, but yeah, I recorded a couple. Things for him. And Ice-T came over with Coco. She was sitting on my futon. I tell people the story, and they're
like, can I touch it?
That's funny.
Guys ready?
Yep.
Quick announcement, and then we'll listen to music, and then we'll get everything started.
All right.
KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. Welcome to another edition of the Urban Suite. I'm your host, Steve Major, here to bring you the best of underground hip-hop, R&B, and surprises galore. Joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Cheryl Meadow.
Hey, San Antonio.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, San Antonio.
I hope everyone is enjoying their week. We're coming up towards the end of April, and it is already in the middle of Fiesta. So, hope everyone having a great night. Please be safe out there. Before we do anything else, I've got a ton of birthdays, shout-outs to give, including our friend Jacob Benavidez, a.k.a. Jay Nonic, our Brunch and Beats partner, Ken Hart, a.k.a. Mr. H of Creative Tunes.
Right, who you heard open the show with our jingle.
Yes, indeed. Brainstorm, happy birthday.
Brainstorm, happy birthday.
And, of course, my brother. Gotta give my fam.
What's up?
Birthday shout-out, as he's chilling in Puerto Rico right now.
And shouts out to the boys in Bear.
Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got a great show for you tonight, some great music, and we are so honored to have this guest in studio with us, Kool of the legendary Visionaries.
Yeah, what's up, D Major? Cheryl, finally get to come and say hello to you face to face.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
And joining us as well, a true friend of the Urban Suite, and you know him through Primates Era. How are you this evening?
I'm good, man. Thank you for inviting me out here.
Glad to have both of y'all here. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got a ton of great music to go through. In this block of music, we have the latest from Lick De Niro, but let's go ahead and get into an early track from the Visionaries. This is Blessings. Do not go anywhere, y'all. More coming up. This is the Urban Suite, KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
You produce
J-Rock.
J-Rock.
Yeah, this record was really supposed to be on the album.
Really?
The album was done. We already pressed the art for the CDs and everything. And J-Rock, I ran into him at the Wu-Tang show, the wake up show. And he's like, "What's up with the album?" I'm like, "It's done." And he's like, "What's about my record?" We're like, "Dude, we've been telling you to come." Like, he was a flake. Like, we're like, "We've been trying to tell you to come through."
Wow.
And so that was the night at the wake up show. That's why my whole rhyme, I was freestyling in the car while I was picking him up, because we were talking about it while Kobe Bryant was like up on stage, like freestyling and stuff. That's what I was telling you,
That's
Kobe
cool.
Bryant.
Yeah.
But earlier that night, we were in a rhyme circle and Kobe jumped in our circle, because I was like, when he walked in, like, I'm a basketball head, right? I'm like, that's Kobe Bryant. And we're all rhyming in a circle at the Palace, and he came in, he's like, let me get it. And he started rhyming, like, he sounded like Big F King, like, I took the mud, to move the mud, to move the mud. And we're just like, oh, and, you know, that was his rookie year where everyone was listening for, like, playing basketball, right? But I was like, that's Kobe, right? Like, I go, my sister's a basketball player. She said he's gonna be better than Jordan. I was like, I don't know about that, but she's like, she knows the basketball. But yeah. So yeah, this whole verse was about that.
Oh, Toothpick Will is watching. What's up, Toothpick?
Just good.
Toothpick, look. Kool from the Visionaries. I don't know if you ever studied the Visionaries when you were doing your old school hip hop learning, but if not, go look them up. And I think you know Era. I think you might know Era. What's up with you? How you been? I almost want to take your phone and go live from the Urban Suite, because I saw on, I don't know what I did, but I can't go live for 79 more days on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know why. They did show a reference to a naked picture of Trump's butt that I had posted like 5 years ago.
Was that the
And it wasn't even a real thing. It was the wax shit.
Yeah. I thought it was a floating baby Trump thingy when he was in.
I'll have to take a screenshot of it, but it's so stupid. Oh my god, how many other people posted that shit? And it's from how long ago?
Yeah, it was a wax statue.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that.
Oh my god.
I didn't repost it though.
I'm so naughty. I got thrown off of X, both my accounts. I had 2 accounts on Twitter, and once it became X, I got tossed off both my accounts.
Oh man.
I was too vocal.
I know.
Darn.
Yeah, they ban you for all kinds of random stuff. Man, right? But you're saying you want to go live with my phone?
No, on Mickey's.
Mickey's?
On Mickey's from the Urban Suite. And so Instagram has it,
Oh,
because
got you.
we get a lot of views on Instagram.
Right.
Right now we've got 2, and it's only showing that Toothpick is in there, but it's showing up here that there's 2. It's weird,
Oh, got you.
but it will be good. And it records it well. I think it's easier to snatch the video from Facebook and convert it so I can put it on YouTube.
Right.
And I put all the videos that I do. I take all the videos and I put them on my YouTube channel on a playlist, and then the Urban Suite has its own, playlist on the channel. I'll send links. I'll post links too, so you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. It's have fun. We're always like third wave of energy when we get home at like 3 something.
Oh yeah. No, I know.
So I'm up uploading everything to YouTube.
I know. I mean,
Right. I know. I was thinking, oh my God.
We're testing tomorrow. I don't know if I'm administering the test or they're just like relieving other teachers.
Oh, so this has really worked out. Oh. I'm so glad. This was just you hitting Mickey up when you did, and this just was beautiful.
yeah, I mean, again, it was just like, I know right when I moved here, I was like, I gotta connect, I gotta come out, and we came out in almost 3 years ago, and
Right? And see, how was he not on our radar? How?
well, we moved out here, and we were living in like a temporary apartment because we were waiting for a house to get built. And it ended up, because it was a pandemic, it ended up taking a year. So I'm here, I am shuffling the kids from different schools, trying to figure out where to go. It was just hectic, and then I got my son who's really into basketball, so I got him on the club team, and it was just like we were traveling, and it was just hectic. And then finally, when we got into our house, then we were settling in, and then we're coming up. We've been in for a year, and then all of a sudden, like, oh no, we got to move back to LA and sell our house. So, yeah. So it was one of those. Man, I didn't even do like half the stuff I was supposed to do here.
So the one video that you guys did from the VLP, and y'all were like zooming each other. Were you here?
That one was right before I left.
Oh, wow.
That was literally like right before I left. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Urban Suite D Major, Cheryl Metal. And as promised, joining us for our open mic session this evening, we have Kool of the Visionaries, along with a true friend of the Urban Suite era in the studio. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
Well, very good. I'm just tripping out that we're reconnecting after how many years was that?
Man, that was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, paid dues. I lived out in California for about 7 years in the Coachella Valley, and so I just went out to the show. I'm a big fan of the Visionaries, so it's like really cool to be here with Kool. So yeah.
And for real, to be up here in San Antonio, because I know I caught your show just driving.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just driving and I'm going, wait, who's playing all this heat right now? I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
I try.
Yes.
I try.
Yes. And that's when I reached out to Cheryl, because I was just like, I got to find out who this is, what's going on here. And and lo and behold, obviously, you're down with a lot of my fam has come through here, and so just to be here, it's an honor anytime you get to connect with the hip hop family in every city, everywhere you go. And this is home to me too, so.
Yeah. Wow.
Props to D Major, man.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, he is the man. This is why I stalked him in the first place.
Y'all are funny. Oh man. So let's talk about the beginnings, even before you got into music. How was life in LA?
Well, I grew up in the South Bay of LA, and in the South Bay, there's a big community of Japanese Americans and Hawaiians, and it's very diverse there. So I grew up very comfortable. in a very diverse community, and so this was, my grandparents and my parents during the World War II, they went to camp. So after they were released, that's where they settled in the South Bay. My dad was from Gardena, and so growing up in Torrance was very, like, we all kind of were family, like diverse kids would just be like, I guess embracing each other's cultures or being exposed to each other's cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those kind of unique situations where it just so happened to be pockets of a lot of, people that I felt very confident of being who I was, and at the same time feeling very different in a way, but different because of not being part of what mainstream society was representing, right? Because as an Asian person, as a Japanese American, you never really saw, representation in media or whatever, like whatever way it was, you just see yourself being portrayed, Asian males obviously always being like the long dong and whatever. So as a child, like, we gravitated towards like a Bruce Lee or something, what I mean? Because then you see that and you're like, that's a strong male image, and yet, that's from Hong Kong or from China, what I mean? And you watch these kung fu movies and you feel empowered, so. It was a good upbringing because we grew up listening to soul and funk because my parents were into jazz and they were into James Brown, and I found out they were cooler than me when I asked them, hey, you ever see James Brown live? They're like, yeah, like 1963 at the Palladium on New Year's Eve. I'm like,
No.
wait a minute. They just danced to him all night long. But I'm like, okay, now I realize my parents are cooler than me, and I could never be that cool because I was just like, you saw him live on New Year's Eve, and you danced the night away to James Brown. I was like, come on. But they also gave me exposure to all the music through their vinyl. They took us to concerts as kids, even though we didn't have a lot of money. They took us to see Rufus and Chaka Khan and Brothers Johnson in like 1978, 79. I was just a kid and didn't realize what all the smoke-filled Greek theater was. We're like, what is that? My dad says, oh, it's just cigarettes that make you feel drunk. I was like, that was genius. And my dad was straight edge. He didn't drink. He's like, but he was there for the music. He's like, it's just cigarettes that make you feel drunk. I'm like, okay. But they took us. I was a kid, and I fell in love just watching Louis Johnson on the bass, seeing Chaka Khan, and just being blown away. They took us to Earth, Wind & Fire concerts at the Forum. So I had a lot of exposure. So that's what I think where my love for music. My dad got our first stereo because my mom was tutoring something from Sanyo. There was a lot of Japanese companies in Gardena, and my mom would tutor the kids how to speak English, and they would give us hookups. And so my dad's like, I'm gonna buy a stereo because we only had like a hi-fi speaker, so we bought a stereo. And then he's like, listen to this, and he put on Marvin Gaye live, and we closed our eyes. We're like, it feels like someone's playing the music in the room. Like that was like it was magic, right? And so having those moments as a child just were like, that just made me just fall in love with music. Absolutely, just couldn't stop listening to it. Couldn't stop wanting to play the piano. I never had lessons. I just played and just started DJing because I just wanted to emulate the sounds of Grandmaster Flash, whatever, and just scratch your records. And that's how I got into hip hop. So
okay,
yeah,
man. In fact, that was going to be my next question. What was your first hip hop influence?
Well, my first influence was my brother was doing a talent show, and he was like the unknown comic where he had a bag over his head and he would tell jokes and people didn't realize how funny he was. But in that the talent show in 8th grade, these brothers, the Smith brothers, came out and they started locking, right? And I never seen, like, I kind of heard of it, but then they started, doing a robot and jumping over brooms. They were like going off, and I was like, what is that? Like, that was like to see something that was even before popping, right? I was a kid. I was like, so my brother, I was in like in 3rd grade. I was like, what is this? And then I was at like this Buddhist church dance, and they were asking me to play records because there was no DJ, so they had me records. And these cats from Carson were like, hey, play Barkade's Holy Ghost. We're going to do something. I go, I bet you they're going to do that thing. And they came out and they started locking. They weren't as good, but they were still doing it. And I was like, that's what got me into, like, when I first started seeing popping, this kid in 6th grade was doing stuff. And so you guys showed me how to do that. And come to find out, he was the cousin of those same Smith brothers. He was the younger cousin, and then his other cousin, Kevin Mitchell, was like in my PE class. And he was 1 year older, but he was in my PE class, and he started teaching me how to pop, and I was just hooked. And that's how I got into it, the dance act. I wasn't that good, but once I started DJing, I don't know why, it was natural for me because of the rhythm, and I was like, immediately, like, I picked up on it, and my brother's friend had bought a pair of turntables in a I think it was a pyramid mixer or Gemini, and he didn't know how to use it. And he's like, you take it, because you do that scratching thing. So I took it home, and I started making mixtapes in 7th grade, and and then I started getting hired. Like, all these older dudes that were DJs that didn't know how to do anything, they were like, come through and do that thing that you do. And I would just like take Planet Rock and I would just scratch, and they would pay me like $200. So I didn't have to sell drugs. Like, they were making, like, you know, DJing back then, they were making like $500-600. They would be like, here's $200 cash. So every weekend I would go and make this cash, and I didn't have to sell drugs or anything. I was like making cash because of the music. So I was like, you know, my girlfriend was getting Louis Vuitton purses. My girlfriend, you know, 9th grade was getting Louis Vuitton purses because I had cash on me. That was all legit from DJing, so it was kind of like naturally rewarding to me. So that's how I got into hip hop, really. Like, first the dance. I used to try to, I did art too, but I never was crazy enough to, like my friends that would just go bomb up places. But, you know, I still did art, and I think that's just how hip hop was at that age, because I'm kind of an older cat, so I got into obviously beatboxing and rapping too, like, because we would bag on each other at lunch, and we would make rhymes about each other, and then we would do more of instrumentals, and that's how we naturally we all could rap, we all could DJ, we all could b-boy, we all could pop, we all could do graffiti, and it's like all aspects of it, we just embraced it all, so that's how I got into it, basically.
Wow. Let's go ahead and get into some music. Y'all stay tuned, more coming up. We've got these visionaries right now in the good. Playing right now? Yeah.
That's right.
Let's go ahead. Keep it locked, y'all. This is Urban Sweet KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
What's that?
No, like you do the early music influence. It makes a lot of sense, and like I don't know, just like your production and everything. So
Yeah, my first records were like my parents' jazz records.
Really?
My dad would walk through and go, "What's up, MJQ sample?" He'd say, "Is that MJQ that you use?" I was like, "Oh, my the Jazz Quartet." Yeah, he'd like call my samples out, like, because I moved back home, you know, during the second album, because I went back to finish my degree at UCLA. I was like, I'm gonna live at home, run our own record label, and I said, Mom, Dad, let me, make the studio in the back room. I'm gonna just live there. Everyone's gonna come over. Then I was working at Nike Town, going to school, coming back home, recording the second record, and trying to run the label. And they're like so happy about it. My dad would walk through and be like, "Let me hear that beat." He'd call my samples. So he'd be like, "It's like Billy Cobb." And he's like, "Stratus?" I was like, "Dang, Dad, like you call it?" Because my dad wanted to be a singer too. Like, yeah. So anytime I would do stuff, he was just like, he would name the samples on it. And, all my first records I sampled was theirs. They had all kinds of different records. And my dad had a lot of stuff. But yes, I got lucky that my parents actually introduced me to. Their first date, they said they went to the Lighthouse in Redondo Beach, which is like a really famous jazz club. And I was like, "Well, who'd you see there?" And my dad's like, "I don't even remember. Like, I was just in here, Mom." But the people that they named that they saw there was just, all the greats. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, "Dang, man, you guys got to." You got to experience a lot of cool stuff.
That's awesome. Not everybody gets parents like that.
Yeah, I mean, and especially like when you talk about like a lot of Asian parents, like they just push their kids to be something.
Oh yeah.
Like force them into doing it. And of course, I'm like that with my kids. You better do good in school or whatever, but I'm not gonna be like, you have to be a doctor. You have to be a doctor. Because it's like, yeah, I don't know if you're built to be a doctor. Like you gotta find your passion.
Yeah, that's a certain kind of brain
Yeah.
that is able to grasp that level of education. That
Right.
like that's crazy.
Right. Right.
I could not do that.
Right. Right.
I admire that so much. You know, Torrance, y'all had such a better mall than Lakewood.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We used to go to Lakewood, but because Elemental's from Long Beach too, so we would go to Lakewood. And do you remember Long Beach Mall down by the?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You would be like, man, don't get jumped here. Like it was deep over there. Downtown Long Beach was so different back then. Man.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was way different in the 80s. And I moved to like 4th and Linden, right by Long Beach Boulevard.
Okay.
In the late 80s, early 90s.
They used to have that theater over there too, right? Right.
And let's see, wow, what year was it? Because it was. Oh, you're doing it? Oh, heck yeah. It was right before they had put in the railway.
Oh, right.
That's when I moved there.
Right.
And then I loved the rail because I would get off work, walk over there because it was 2 little blocks away, ride it from Long Beach to LA and back, read a book, chill.
Right.
And it was wonderful.
Right. That's right. Our office was over there in downtown Long Beach too, so we spent a lot of time in that area.
You know the one that Jackie Chan.
Jackie Brown?
Jackie Brown.
Well,
Yeah.
the story about that was I met Tarantino the night before.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
As you were telling your story, I heard a couple of different. I was thinking of rhymes that she had.
Yeah. You know the one in Jackie
Brown.
I met Tarantino the night before at a award show, and he was telling me to stand in front of him because he was at the bar and all these people were trying to talk to him. And I was running LIG. He goes, LIG, come on, stand right here real quick. So he goes, yeah, whatever. So I stood there like a bodyguard because he had it in there. And it was a private party because it was an after party thing that was sponsored by like XO or something like that. And it was called Asian Excellence Awards, and he was being honored. And so it was the after party. We were there, and he's talking to this girl. And then after he was done, like people spotted him. They're all trying to talk to him, and he was about to leave. He's like, thanks, whatever. And he was about to leave, and I said, I'm from the South Bay too. And then he stops and goes, what? There's no way. And he's like, where'd you live? I said, well, I grew up, behind the rodeo and all that. And he's like, no way. He's like, well, I lived in Regina, I lived in Toronto, like, I used to name all these things. And I said, well, I grew up with cats that were like your characters in Jackie Brown. I had a Samoan homies and, dudes that kind of ran the city. You know what I mean? Like, dudes that were helping fund DJ kids. Anyway, I was like, so what did he think about my movie? Like, he was like, trying to, and I go, oh, we all laugh. We all laugh because we're like, we know that guy. We know the old guy, out of prison. We know the guy in Redondo slaying, And he goes, he grabs my hand, not joking, he grabs my hand and he kisses my wedding ring. He goes, because he's so zany. He goes, thank you for that. And he goes, I'm out. Grabs his girl and they just take off. And everyone in the room is going, who the hell is that guy, right? Because there's Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, all these actors and that. Yeah. And here's Tarantino. He was the main, and he kisses my ring. And I go, dude, he's so over the top. And my manager Nancy goes, what just happened? I was just like,
why does that sound like a scene like that he was like directing
this
movie?
Yeah. He was over the top. When he kissed my ring, I was just like, that was hilarious. I didn't say I was a dude. I said my homies were the dude. But just to hear from him, because he thought, I was big with my ponytail. He thought I was Samoan.
Oh my God.
It was so the next morning I was recording that verse. I got to give a shout to Tarantino because that was all shot in Torrance. So, yeah, it's so funny.
when y'all do the movie, you have to include that.
I know. I want Tarantino to be in. I'll be like, remember that time you kissed my? Because I'll give you my card. I'm like, I'm in a, I got a label, whatever. And he's like, okay, cool, whatever, But yeah, I was like, if I could get him for that part, just be like, do you remember when you were trying to talk to a girl at the art center after the Excellence Award? He'll remember it because it was a big event. Because everyone who was this was when Lost was blowing up. So, Daniel Day Camp, whatever his name is, and every big actress and actress was at that after party. But they were all like buzzing to talk to him because he was the dude, and he was just like, give me some protection. Yeah.
That's so cool, though. What an amazing moment.
I know. It was just weird though, because we're all laughing. We're like, he's being honored here for bringing Asian films over here. But the guy that was the real star was the guy that invented the cocktail for AIDS. His name is Dr. Ho, and he was a Time Magazine. So he pretty much has eliminated AIDS by taking different Asian. So I'm sitting there going, this dude is saving the world, and no one's talking to him, and everyone's just jockeying all these. And I'm sitting there going, this is Dr. Ho. I'm like, this guy, yeah. So I was just the things that
You experience,
yeah. And the things that people value, or what seems important to them, they don't realize this great man is standing there. I was just like, this guy saved the world. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Because you think that everybody would be up there trying to. You think everybody would be trying to talk to him.
He's just standing there, just like,
Oh my God.
But it's cool though. I mean, he knows what he did.
KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is the Urban Suite D Major, Cheryl Metal, Kool era in the studio. Great conversation off air, y'all. If you're online, hey, I'm glad you're enjoying this show.
Yeah, get on the Urban Suite IG Live or me on Facebook.
Oh, I'm on Facebook too.
You're on Facebook too? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
My bad.
Oh, that's all good. All good. Wow. So this is all leading up to 89.
Yeah, 89 when I got into the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. My boy was he was hanging out with this cat named Rob Harris, who was like one of the top DJs out of LA, and the Rhyme Syndicate was looking for a cat to be an Asian cat to be in a group. So my friend's like, well, I don't DJ, but my friend is incredible, so they had me audition for them or whatever, and I got into this group. And then the next week, they were flying me out to Minneapolis, and it was a group called the United Nations Committee, and it was like Japanese guy with me and Mexican guy named Simful from the group, eventually the Mexicans, and two cats out of Minneapolis, Kelsey and this other guy named Bistro. And after Bistro was the white guy quit, Sin's friend brought Elemental into the group, and Elemental was from Long Beach, so that's how I met Elemental from the Visionaries. But that was my first group. That's how I got into the music industry, and I was a big fan of Roger and Zap Troutman as a popper and all the funk music. And Roger's son, we went to his house the first night, and Roger's son, Roger Troutman Jr., rest in peace, produced the first demo that we had. And the most incredible thing was the next day we went to the studio, and the machine was broken, and he was like, I got a friend at Paisley Park, let me call him. And Paisley Park is Prince's studio, so we got to go over and record. My first recording experience in the industry was at Paisley Park. And the funniest thing was when we got there, you walk in and they go, hey, you guys are recording in Studio B or whatever. Like, if you see the man, give him his space, don't talk to him, right? And okay, cool. You just start walking down. The next person walks by, hey guys, you know the rule here, right? Like, what? If you see the man, give him his space. Okay, cool, right? Literally every person that you walk by says that to you. So then we're in the break room and we're playing pinball, and then Prince comes walking in with his girl, and we all literally just freeze, right? Because that's your natural instinct. You see the man, you're like, and he's just sitting there, gets stuff from the vending machine. He's like looking at us through the corner of his eye, and then he leaves. And then the oldest cat, Kelsey, said, man, he said, leave. Give the man a space. He didn't say stop breathing. You stopped playing the pinball machine. What happened to your game? You stopped playing too. And so, but the thing was, he ended up inviting us into his soundstage and letting us, check it out and all that, because he thrived off of seeing our hunger, which was dope. Like I was a kid, and that was my first experience, and to be able to do that was just. And the funniest thing was when I saw the Chappelle skit and they talked about basketball. He had a basketball hoop in the back of the studio, and we were all shooting back there. And we were making jokes like, I wonder if Prince plays basketball. Had no idea, and it was like, when I saw that, I was like, yes, for sure, that was his hoop back there. So, yeah, that's how I got into the music industry basically back in '89, thanks to Ice-T and Rap Syndicate. But, Tony Green, who was the manager that had that vision. Even though the group didn't last, that introduced me to the music industry as a young one. So.
Wow. So from there, what led up into the formation of the Visionaries? You already said you met Elemental.
Right. So then after our group broke up, I just started trying to do stuff solo, and then I was an MC for one of the top promoters in LA, and so I would always MC his clubs. I mean, literally, he did all the biggest clubs in LA. Janet Jackson would come through and all these people, and I would just be the MC on the mic. Wow. And then Zen was also working for him, so that's how we met, because they would let us freestyle, because Zen was the only other one that could really freestyle, but not to zone out and take over. And it's a club still, so you had to hype the crowd and be able to do it seamlessly and not rap 100 bars or whatever. So we became friends, and then Danu came up from San Diego, and he had a group, and he was working with these cats that they were big producers and stuff, but their group kind of had a falling out. So we all just kind of started hanging out. But when I was solo, I was trying to have people help me produce stuff. But then Rhett Maddock was friends with my manager at the time, Doug Cotto, who we founded up Love Records together. So he ran into Rhett, but me and Rhett were at Prince's Club Vertigo, and Rhett was guest DJ, and I was emceeing there, and we had this whole conversation, here we are at this club, having a rock music to rock a club or whatever, but we're nerding out, talking every hip-hop record from old, Rhett has deep knowledge, both of us are well, what about, he said, did you know that Seth G from, Ultra Mag had the first, and we're talking about sampling, we're just geeking out. And so then me and Rhett, instantly we bonded off of just hip-hop nerdiness, nerding out on everything. I was I've never met someone that knew more than me about hip-hop. And so when I was talking to Rhett, I was working on the law office, and I called up Rhett. He's like, I bought an SB1200. He said, I'm going to send you some beats. Back then, right, you had to snail mail a tape of beats, and he never sent it to me, right? I gave him my address. He had to, make a beat tape and mail it to me. But then my partner, business partner, Doug, my manager, ran into Rhett. He goes, oh, you know Rhett? I used to mobile DJ with him back in the day. I knew him. And so I said, tell that fool he owes me a beat. So I went to and so Rhett and I, we demoed one song on a little 4-track in this garage in Cerritos, and we demoed another song. We literally recorded maybe 6 or 7 songs within a week. He's like, man, you're so hungry, you just want to work. And at the time, he was working with one of the founders of Crooks and Castles, Emil Soriano. He was a rapper too. Rich One, who founded Creative Recreation. It was a big shoe company that he became a millionaire off of that. He was also a good designer, but he was all these dudes were so talented, but they're more talented with their design and their art. And so Rhett was like, you just want to rap. So he's like, let's make a group, and that's how we formed Cosmonauts. And so in '95, we were because of Violet Brown, she was because the music industry was telling us that Asians didn't listen to hip-hop, and Asians shouldn't be doing hip-hop, whatever. They were telling us all these ridiculous things. And because Rhett had his experience with MCA Records, with the Brotherhood Creed, I had my experience with Wild West Records, which was an independent label that put out like the Nonce and other dope LA acts. But I had them trying to market me as a Mexican American group because they were like, there's a Latino market, and I was like, but I'm not. I could speak Spanish, but I'm not Mexican. Like,
Right.
let me be who I am, and it'll be dope, right? And so I got out of that deal, and that group became the Mexicans, which are my friends still, and that fit, and that was dope for them. Big ups to Iron Man and Sinful from the Mexicans. And so when we decided to record and release our own record, we're like, because of Violet Brown said, you know, Violet Brown is she gets referenced in Eminem songs, right? She's like an industry heavyweight. She just so happened to be living in my neighborhood, and she had an affinity for helping people, local kids, and she knew I was from North Torrance, and her best friend was a English teacher that was my manager's English teacher, and he's like, I got a friend that might be able to help you. And when we met her, we were like blown away who it was, and she just said, make like, you know, the Bay Area cats and just get your own distribution and go independent. And this was when everyone was still trying to be on major labels, and there's a few independent labels out there besides Bay Area and you know, some coming out the South eventually.
Right.
So we were like, let's do it, and people thought we were nuts. They were like, what are you guys thinking? Like, we're like, I don't know, man. We're just trying to get a record out. You know what I mean? And that's just how it went. So that's how it went from, you know, being with the Rhyme Syndicate to morphing into releasing our first record in 1995 on Up Above Records, which was the Kool and Romantic Cosmonauts album. And the first Visionary song was actually on that record too. It was called Visionary Stop Acting Scary. So.
Wow.
That's how it all formed. That was our first official record in 1995, and you know, we're just young heads that just wanted to get a record out, you know. And being in LA, everyone's trying to do stuff, and you know, the glitz and glamour and the politics, but you got real people that just, you know, along with all those people that we came out with in the LA Underground, you know, all the groups that came out of the LA Underground, we're all the dudes that were like, we're not making gangster rap because we're not gangsters, but we grew up with gangsters, and we could rap all that if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But we're also hip-hop nerds, we're artists, we're diverse, and we just want to tell our story the way it is because, you know, don't get me wrong, like, we all grew up doing a lot of stuff and being around a lot of stuff. We made certain choices to be, you know, the people we are, and, you know, with that being said, everyone has to do what they have to do, and for us, it was just music, so.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Man. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Kool and Era here. Do not go anywhere. In this block of music, we have tracks from Namek and Reverie, but let's go ahead and get into a track from the Visionaries. This is Six Ring Circus. Keep it locked. More coming up. This is the Urban Suite KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
Yo, what's up? It's Reverie coming all the way from the big bad West Coast. You are now tuned into Urban Suite Radio in San Antonio, baby.
Oh, I love Reverie. She is so sweet.
I know.
We've got to interview her a couple of times. Vel,
Yeah, I saw Vel.
Bella.
They were doing really well. And they're growing a lot.
Yo, shouts out to Donnie D on the Facebook Live. He said, times like this, I appreciate the blessings.
Right.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Donnie, what are you doing? Come up to the station right now. I'm not playing. That's our legendary DMC champion year after year. Like, this is,
Yes. No.
if you ever see DJ Donnie D on anything, you go. And if you see him ever, Donnie, I'm going to talk shit about you. If you ever see him take his shoes off, just be prepared and don't take your eyes off him. That's right. Have you ever seen Donnie take his shoes off? Oh, he goes into another world.
Yeah,
he goes over here, and it's like magic. It's crazy. Shouts out to James
Is he
Hernandez.
spinning anywhere
How are
tonight,
you,
or is he just
hon?
chilling?
I mean, he must not be. He's over here watching everybody.
Okay. Cool.
It's Monday night. I don't know, Donnie. Anywhere Monday night? He's got residencies constantly.
So the interesting thing about where I grew up, you ever hear about the rodeo and the swap meet?
Oh yeah, I used to go there. I love that shit. Yes.
Yeah, that's where Dre used to sell his mixtapes. So when I was a kid, there was a record store there, and there was a guy named Steveiano, and he was like an uncle because he was Japanese American. He was always, I'd be wearing my basketball jersey from him. He's like, how'd you guys do or whatever. And
What time is it? It's only 11:43. Donnie, come up here.
And he'd be like, oh, I got this record, like this Marquis, We got the first DDP record, but it had no vocals on it, right? It was a mispress. We thought it was a dub plate, and then it was criminal. It was criminal minded, but it was like the wrong. They accidentally pressed the wrong version, put the instrumentals out, the very first version. So anyway, and we all thought it was like a dub record. Oh, you just hear his trails, like, okay, it's a dub record, it's just beats. And then once I heard the rhymes, I was like, this dude is incredible. Like he raps like no one else I've ever heard. So anyway, he's the one that, there's a big story in the LA Times about how he introduced Eazy-E to Dre, because Eazy would be there buying stacks of records and wanted to start a record store. And Steve was like, no, you don't want to do that because records cost so much. You're, $1.50 and you sell it for $5, you're not making any money. You want to start a record label. So then Eazy was like, well, introduce me to Dr. Dre, because Dre he was part of the wrecking crew, but he was just DJing. So introduce me to him. So he finally introduced them, and then they ended up.
History.
Yeah, they ended up making Boys in the Hood because that song was written for an East Coast group that rejected it. So Ice Cube wrote that, and he wrote it for an East Coast group, and they said the song is too soft. So like, well, we got this song that's produced by Dre. So like, you rap on it because you want a label, and he's just like, I don't rap, right? And they're like, well, and so they told him to rap on it, and he rapped on it. And I remember they pressed it up. They were in the little Suzuki Samurais, buy a record, and they were like signing it and just giving it to us, and we're just like, and Steve was like, he's like, it's blowing up now. Like they just got to deal with priority. And he gave me a book. It's still up in my parents' room.
understand, and I'll tell them.
Take that down and frame it. But and Steve had a jacket and a straight out Compton jacket, and like Ruthless Records. He goes, they got a record deal, and it's like they're gonna release this record. And so I saw all that happen like firsthand. And Steve's always telling us what's happening. And I was glad because he passed away. He had a head injury, fell off the ladder like about 6 years ago. But he was in that Jimmy Iovine and Dre documentary when they're recording Supersonic. You see this. He also put out I See I'm Not Your Puppet. You remember that?
I think so.
I'm
Not your puppet.
Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, it was like he was down with I See was down with DJ Quick and them.
Oh yeah.
It was on Scandalous Records. So he started his own indie label, and Steve Yano, and so but he's credited for introducing them. And in full circle, we ended up hooking up, and one of the guys from the Black Force was in Elemental's crew. We were mixing our first album, Gallery, at Scandalous Records. I said, oh, that's Steve's spot. And Steve was like, you guys could use my studio for free. Because he remembered me as a child. Right? He goes, you guys are making records now? He's like, man. And then he gave me a whole bag of Dr. Dre mixtapes. He goes, take these. I don't know what to do with them. I can't release them because they're all like mixtapes with licensing issues, and Dre doesn't want to do it. He goes, just take these. So I have my friend who's like a historian. He archived all of them and put them on.
Wow.
So all the Dr. Dre mixtapes we have is like digital files, and I only give them to like certain people that I don't want to exploit them, but I know that our music video director gave it to Snoop, and Snoop was like, who the hell? Who got it? And I was like, I was my friend that archived them because I wasn't gonna do that. It was like 30-something tapes or something. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, those are the Dre mixtapes. I lived on the back wall, so we didn't want to pay to take the bus in. You'd have to go to El Camino College parking lot, take the bus and pay to get in. They gave us passes as neighbors because it was such a nuisance to have everyone so we could get in free, but we were like, no, we didn't want to walk around to the front. So there's a cut bar, we would look over and we just hop over, just stay there all day and listen to I mean, everyone in LA would go there to buy records. Even Lakers, like the Ellen Campbell, the Lakers player, he would be up there buying records, and yeah, everyone from Orange County, J-Rock's like, I used to go there all the time. You know, it was like the mecca, you know what I mean, for. But yeah, that's.
I love these little hip hop little snapshots. And
Yeah.
Yes.
But you don't. At the time, you don't realize how big it's gonna be later on. You know, like, wow.
They call it the ground zero of West Coast hip hop, because then NWA recorded a whole album in Torrance. People don't know that the song "F the Police" was about Torrance police who harassed us because we lived on the edge. We lived like on the hood. Be Real lived over here, like literally in a Gardena, like Mexican mafia apartment complex that always got shot up. And that's why Hal could just kill a man. He wrote that because of that living there. Just bad experiences there. But so we lived on the edge. The Torrance police were like making sure that we're gangs coming. I'm like, I live here, and they're like, guns drawn on you coming home just from school. Like,
What are you doing here? I live
I'm like,
here.
what's your address? 164th Street. This is Casimir. Yeah, but my door is. Well, I live on a corner. We face 160. Oh, okay. Our bad. You know, constant. But I was on
Was Ghost Town in Torrance?
Ghost Town? No. I don't.
It's been forever. No, where was it by?
Or if it was, I'm not familiar with it.
It was one of those little dip-offs. I don't know if it was like Section 8 housing or what, but it was like one way in and one way out.
Might have been like Wilmington or Harbor City, you know, somewhere in that. There's like the LA Strip over there.
Yeah.
Where it's like LA has a whole strip that goes all the way down from downtown all the way to San Pedro Harbor, so they could claim it as LA. So my grandma lived on that strip, and it's just like right by the freeway, and it's. I mean, it could be in that area. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
I'm sure we could find out if we Google it.
We used to stomp around there, and I remember when Easy and them had the Suzukis. I remember that. It was so cute.
Well, that might have been like closer to Long Beach, because I know. Well, Elemental used to hang with Eazy-E when he was younger. So like, if you see the DOC, the Formula video at the very beginning, they're doing all those like auditions, and Surgeons is doing the mallet,
Yeah.
and then they do the. We're the new kids in the hood, and we got the right stuff. But Elemental is the one that says, "Well, we got the right stuff," because
now I gotta go.
yeah, you gotta go watch that. So that's Elemental as a kid, and Dre and them were like, "Take our hats, you gotta do it." And James was like, Elemental's like, "I ain't doing that." They're like, "You gotta do this." So then, and then his friend is like, "Rolling, swollen, come like, yeah." They just it was comedy, right? And we're the new kids in the hood, and Elemental goes, "We got the right stuff." That's him, you know? Isn't that weird? Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, it's dope. He has someone made a painting of that scene for him. I was like, man, you're in a classic video, because I was dying when I saw that video. That was the funniest video. Mallet, I am.
Like 81, 82, I had this Italian girlfriend in high school, and she was dating two different guys named O'Shea.
Oh, right. That's funny.
So we go in this cute little tiny house. I remember, I think it was like pink or something. And Eric and I would sit there and roll blunts and bullshit. And I never like paid attention to where Amber was. I had like really no clue what she was doing, because I didn't care, because he was so like, we would just sit there and roll. He told me one day, he goes, "Go in that room and bring back a handful." I'm like, what? So I go in the room. They just got back from Humboldt.
Stats, yeah.
So I had a big handful of some Thai sticks. Like,
Funny. Oh man, I remember that time.
oh my God, right?
Yeah.
The chocolate Thai they have, but you can never find Thai stick.
Right. Oh my God.
That was so good.
Here we go. KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Urban Sweet D Major, Cheryl Meadow, Kool, Era in studio. So,
Yes.
so at this time, like I said, just dropped the first album. How did everything go from there, man? I mean,
Well, I mean, honestly, we dropped the first album, Cosmonauts, and right when we released the record, indie distribution claimed bankruptcy. So the banks came in to take all their inventory.
oh wow.
So they were holding our, like, they locked everything up, and they were like, well, we can't get your product out because we filed for bankruptcy. Of course, they opened again under a different name, but it was just, and so we're like, we need our product. And they're like, no, we can't give it to you. And we're like, we're showing up and getting our product. And they're like, okay, well, you can come get your product. Like, we just said, we didn't make anything. We're like, we're going to be there, so you better have our product. Okay, we'll just leave it there, and you just come and take it. So we went and collected our stuff. So it was real rough because, like, we only had a certain amount of stuff that got out. But the crazy thing was we got a call from Japan, and they were like, you know, really, really bad English, and we knew they were Japanese, and luckily Doug and I could speak Japanese, and as soon as they heard we could speak Japanese, they flipped out, and so they're like, we need, you know, X amount of this vinyl, can you hear it? We're like, really? Like, you need 3,000 copies like that? We're like, oh my gosh, so we started sending them, they're like, yeah, this guy named Curtis Harmon from K-Day who moved to Japan, dude, I was like, Curtis Harmon, I used to listen to his quick mixes, he brought our record in there, said, this is a Japanese guy, you gotta check him out. And so they ordered a record from us, and they were like, well, then do you know these guys? And so that's how we started going, yeah, like, we'll get you records from these guys and these guys. And it made it easier for them because we could be their liaison and communicate. So we started helping getting records out to Japan. So that kind of helped us because it's hard, like, when you have a record label, to make money. Like, you have to sell a lot of records because just the overhead, the promotion, everything. So that in itself, the distribution fact and being able to do that, we also, you know, Rhett and I got to go to Japan with DJ Cuber, Shortcut, and we went on our first tour to Japan in like late '95, '96 twice. And DJs were king in Japan, you know, like, of course, Cuber, like, they're so...
Oh, I bet they loved him.
my God.
Oh,
I mean,
jeez.
I mean, who doesn't, right? And Shortcut and Red, and they were killing it. So I got to be the MC for that whole thing. And,
Wow.
And that was my first tour, and that was my first time I ever got to go to Japan. Because, like, when I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. We just drove the Impala to all the national parks and stuff, you know. And so I never really went overseas. So to be able to go to my, you know, grandparents' you know, motherland, and it literally was just the most amazing thing to be able to tour Japan like twice and be treated like royalty, to be honest, because that was because of, you know, Rat, Cuba, and Shortcut, but still I was able to experience that. And then you know, from that point on, that's when we decided to do a visionary. Well, we just did a visionary song on a little like a white label, and DJ Babu put it on World Famous Beat Junkies Volume 1, and it did really well, and we were just in Chicago, and Elementa was like, why don't we just make a Visionaries record, because we were talking about doing the Kool and Rhythmatic second album, and then Babu was like, yeah, man, everyone's feeling like that song you guys did that I put on it, you know. So that was in '96. We played a show at Loyola University with like Percy P and this guy E.C. Illa, Chicago cat. Remember that cat? Yeah. And so we're like, you know what? Let's do a Visionaries album. So that's when we started working on doing stuff for Visionaries, and we kind of like, that was the trajectory of it. We went from Kool and Rhythmatic to like strength in numbers, because just working with the Visions is just like, there's a different energy when you have a group of 5 MCs, and you know, and of course Rhythmatic as being our DJ is just, it's just, you know, it's we model ourselves after Run DMC, you know, like when we saw Jam Master J-Rock with Run DMC, it's like, you cannot have a dope DJ, like, that's the foundation of hip hop, and that's the foundation of your group. And I was a DJ myself too, right? And I'm like, and Rhett is all about that. The first time I saw Rhett, so here's my story about Rhett. First time I met him, I went to this club called the Spice Club on Hollywood Boulevard, and in the front room, they would always have everyone, like Rockstar, you know, Steven Tyler, Billy Idol, Milli Vanilli, like Chuck D, you know, Michael Bivins, like everyone would be up in the front. And then in the back room, they would have like reggae and hardcore, like underground hip hop, or just true hip hop, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
just. And so I went in the back, and I thought there was a record playing, but I hear a vocal routine, like Grandmaster Caz and Whipper, you know, just killing it, like, you know, like Park style over breaks. And then I look and I see who I thought, you know, I was like, who's this little dude with the fro and glasses, you know? And I look, and he's rocking like funky drummer and just doing doubles and doing cutouts and doing like baby and they're just rocking. I was like, I never got to see anyone rock in the South Bronx, but this is what I imagine what it felt like.
Yeah.
In a gritty, dark room, and I had to go up and shake Rhett's hand. I was like, man, I just. And then I looked at it, go, this dude's Filipino. Filipino Filipino. And I was like, oh my God, you're Asian, dude. Like, it tripped me out, but it was dope. I was like, I'd never seen anyone rock like that. So I was like, having him as the DJ has like superpowered us as a group, because we always like try to like come out with that, you know, like I said, that Run DMC energy. You know what I mean? Like having the DJ just come out and just smash you with the presence, and then you have to be on the vocals like Kaz and Whip and all those guys, like be an MC and control the party, and that's kind of what we modeled ourselves after. So having Rhett at the helm, and I mean, like I said, seeing legends like that and Rhett rocking with them like that, I was just like, hands down, man. Like a lot of MCs are arrogant. They talk down to the DJ. We're like, we wouldn't be nothing without our DJ. So yeah.
The whole culture wouldn't be.
Exactly. I mean, that is the truth. Like, people don't realize how important the DJ is and DJing is, and just the whole movement. And you know, people forget, but we can't let them, right?
True that.
Can't let them.
Hey y'all, stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We've got more with Kool and Era. Man, hope y'all enjoyed this, because we definitely are. Hey y'all, do not go anywhere. The second hour of the Urban Suite is coming up next.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I remember going to a show, and it was DJ Babu was there.
Oh yeah.
And Suffer. Prayers out to Suffer. He's still dealing with some health issues. But we're there. I'm probably like 19, 20. And Dilated Peoples like are on stage.
Mm-hmm.
But this is before we know who Dilated Peoples are.
Okay.
Actually, the Arsonists were the main headlining group. Dilated Peoples.
Those are the homies too.
Dilated Peoples was small on the flyer. But the whole time Suffer has his video camera and he's just on Babu.
Oh,
Oh, heck yeah.
Babu ain't even mixing, but he's just like, any movement, he's like, yo, like, camera, I don't wanna, like, yeah. So that's it, yeah. So the DJ was like, Suffer, you know, graffiti artist.
Amazing dude.
He's the one that turned me on to a lot of those early, like, beat junkies, all the stuff like that.
Dude, how thrilled would he be to know that Kool is San Antonio? How thrilled would he be?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How's this project coming along?
I'm to be honest, I'm not sure. I need to go by and visit, talk to his sister.
Yeah, we haven't been to see him either. We keep him in our prayers all the time. He had a stroke, a pretty severe stroke, and he's coming back. I think he was in the hospital for a couple of years.
It's been about at least a year and a half, or 1 or 2 years, yeah. So yeah. But yeah, man, we went out to B-Boy Summit in like '99
Okay. At UCLA?
at UCLA, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the year that they had the riot police had to come out to Venice Beach and like get all the people out.
I'm pretty sure that was the same year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that whole year was a debacle because people were tagging up the campus
Yeah.
at UCLA, and
It
you
just-
said don't play
there's
that.
too many. Yeah. So it was
It was a good one though. I mean, we were stage diving and stuff.
yeah, man.
That was crazy.
Donnie D, are you still on? Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said about Kool? living in San Antonio. Did you hear that? Just wondering.
I've run into a few heads here and there, randomly. Yeah. It's just like, it's a trip. I'm like, oh.
We have a strong hip hop scene here. We have a chaotic rap scene and a strong hip hop scene.
I know you guys got a lot of good b-boys here too.
Oh my God, yeah. They just had a show a couple days ago, Billy.
Yeah, I took my daughter out there for a bit, like early in the day. It was dope.
Oh,
He was,
good.
like, dude on a BMX bike.
Oh,
like, doing
nice.
some, like, indoor, like, you know, it was like the Rad movie.
Yeah.
Mixed with like hip hop and like it was a cool thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, just down the street from it, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Babu, he came on our first Japan tour with us. We brought him. That was before he. Well, Rat obviously said you gotta DJ for Dilated. So the Shortcut was supposed to DJ for Rap Stars too.
Okay. That's crazy how just like when you think of like underground hip hop and like like just and then like just it was still very close.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way growing up. I thought it was like, but it's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just because, well, it's just we all ran in the same, you're all in the same scene, and when the DJs are that dope, you're just like.
You ever go around like the Good Life?
Sorry, let me make a quick announcement real quick, and then I'm going to do some more music, and then we'll go continue on with the conversation. I'm sorry. KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. Welcome to Hour 2 of the Urban Suite. I am your host, D Major, here to bring you the best of underground hip-hop, R&B, and surprises galore. Joined as always by my partner in crime, Cheryl Nettle.
Hey, you guys.
We just heard music from the Visionaries that was all right. Yes, it is all right. Hey, y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Kool and with Era here in the studio with us. More conversation coming up, so do not go anywhere. Let's go ahead and get into this track, and I've got questions about this for you in just a minute.
Right.
Apparently, Elemento and 2Max had a missing album that just literally dropped, so we're about to get into a track from that album.
Yes.
And we're going to discuss more about this in a moment.
All right.
So from the album Humble is the Style, the track is called Love Opens Virtue Every Time.
Yes.
Do not go anywhere, y'all. More coming up. This is the Urban Suite, KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
They're going to be happy to hear you play this. I was talking to Tim-X the other day, and I told him I was coming on, and he was like, "Oh, word, that's dope, man. I know what's up with them."
Yeah. Said Twix has been here how many times?
Yeah.
I know I've seen him at least 3.
Yeah.
Twice with Cheryl.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man, those are my pigs.
And he's a doll. I always love talking to him for a few minutes. And he's like, he's never too busy for you,
Yeah, he's a big-hearted dude.
Yes, he is.
When I first met him, it was like that, too. Like, I remember giving him, because I knew, like, I met him and I already knew he was from The Good Life, and I already heard of OMD and stuff. I just knew, and I saw him rock before, and I was like, this dude's incredible. And I pressed up a little demo tape. Well, it was a cassette single basically, but it's like a demo. And it was an old song, so I handed it to him. He was working at Immortal Records at the time doing promotions, and I gave it to him. And I was just like, I was all like, I don't want to give you this. This is old stuff, but here, take it. He's like, oh my God, this is incredible. You pressed up your own. How would you do this? Like, he was so excited about the fact that I had an actual pressed up thing instead of just like handwritten.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he made me feel so good about myself that I was like, all like, oh man, this song is like, don't listen to it. This is just my contact on here. He was so gracious about like, how are you such a nice dude? You make someone that's feeling like insecure about giving you something made me feel like, oh wow, this is kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
I did press it up myself and got it professionally done, even though it wasn't like so. That was my first second encounter with him.
Oh yeah, before I get too far along,
Yeah.
as out Final Four, Alchemist Beats. I want you to take a listen to and see which one you like.
All of them.
Yes. Yes.
I can rock that. I know that I recognize the beat. Yeah, that's a good pace.
Okay.
I mean, how long does it run for?
327.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
That works.
All right.
Yeah. I was just like, just play whatever. Like, I like not knowing what's gonna come on. So,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm good with that.
Cool. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that I pick the right thing.
Yeah, I know. All good.
Cool. I'm gonna get back into it after this track,
Okay.
and then after that, I'll get into the freestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I asked Era, are you ready to do some? Because I don't know how long it's been since he's like hit the booth or anything, but I'm like, you ready? And he's like, I don't want to impose. And I'm like, no, dude, no, dude.
Yeah. I'll probably just, intermix written off that, whatever feels right. Yeah. I like that. I was like, I hope you're gonna rap because I was ready to rap for like 10 minutes straight. But
See?
But it's more fun when you go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's just that's the energy. Like whenever I go to radio shows, I'm like, we get to rap, right? Like, it's like, can we get to
Telling my whole life story.
Yeah.
I know that's dope.
All right. I'm about to get back into it.
Oh, everybody just got excited on the lives.
KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Urban Suite D Major, Cheryl Metal, Kool, and Era in studio with us. So 4 fantastic albums that you guys released before you went on a hiatus.
We did.
For quite a while now.
Yeah, we did the 4 records, and then during the pandemic, we decided to release a record because it was just, one of those moments where we all got, how would you say, everyone's like thought the group broke up, but you can't really break a family up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so we all individually would hang out. Rhett obviously is superstar Rhett, doing everything he does. Between having kids, I was part of a startup in a tech company, so I was like running with a bunch of Silicon Valley people and just learning a lot about business, to be honest. I mean, some pretty heavyweight people, and so it put me in a place, I think, mentally, learning about the business, but I started realizing how much I miss just being able to be able to do what I love to do, which is, I'm passionate about music. So I think over that time, between having kids, multiple kids, and everyone doing their thing, other guys in the group getting into different industries that they're holding it down in as well. So, California, a lot of opportunities opened up, during those years. So everyone was doing their thing, and I think it took us being able to have the space to grow as individuals, because it felt like there was at a point, the last record we did, the 4th record, We Are the Ones, we had a track we did a track with Jay Dilla, you know what I mean, like what more can you talk from that, you know what I mean, we had Sadat X, YG, RBX, and Brother Jay from the X-Clan, you rap with your heroes on the posse cut, where do we go from? To us, we're like, we've done it, you know what I mean? So So we're at the point to where I think it took us being able to have a breather, being able to, and it wasn't like, we had some things to work out too as individuals, because, anytime you do something as a business together, usually partnerships dissolve within, a year or two or whatever. We had been already together, a group by that time in 2006. We had already been together for like 11 years. And we were still doing shows together. So we'd show up in rock shows and do certain things. But it wasn't until 2020, well, actually when Tumex got sick, and, we literally almost watched him die a couple times in front of us, kind of thing. When he came to, he was like, we got to do a record. We're like,
What?
okay, I'm not kidding. He said, I was seeing, I was seeing spirits and people that were trying to come and take me. I was in the darkness. Like he was on all kinds of morphine and all, so he was hallucinating. But he's like, when you and Rhett walked in, and we just started talking hip hop, he goes, that's when I knew I wasn't dreaming. And he says, just talk about hip hop. That's what he said. Just talk about hip hop. He was like, what was it? And we started talking about records. Like, oh, remember, Stilo and It's My Turn and using that, that break. And we just started talking record. And he's like, that's, I'll have him come and tell you the story himself. But he said, that's when I knew it was real. Like, I wasn't dreaming anymore. I was okay. And then when the group came, we were all together with him. He's like, we gotta make a record. And we're like, you gotta get better first. Like, we weren't even concerned about making a record, but he planted that thought, and so we had been piecing together songs and doing stuff. Finally, in 2020, we said, let's just do stuff like how we used to. We just did stuff without like, we have to do this. Like, we just made stuff, and after we had a bunch of stuff together, we're like, why don't we? Man, 2020, people need something. We need something. Let's just put a record out. We decided to put out V, or it's also the Roman numeral for 5, and put out our 5th record. And still, a lot of people are like, that happened because we're also disconnected during the pandemic, and so. But we released our 5th record during the pandemic, and that was just one of those things to where, as you saw, like the first official music video, we did it like video conference style video because we couldn't really get together. Everything was on lockdown, so it was fun though, and that concepted the whole thing, and we kind of put it together. Pun intended. That was a song. Put it together.
I know I was excited when I saw the announcement for that come out. So, man, so like just recently. As I stated before, Elemento and Tumex, their long lost music that they worked on, and somehow you were able to find tracks to put this project out.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So, I think that record was done at the time when we just finished our 4th album, like so 2006-ish. Right after that, we were working on music still, and they had recorded like 10, 12, like there's more songs to it, but we just didn't find all of them, or all of them weren't complete. But then they were like, who has it? No one had it. And so recently, I'm the type of dude that has everything. I have videos, like I was always filming stuff. I kept every flyer, like I have archives of stuff. And I was going through a spool of CDs going, now I'm gonna toss these, and I'm looking through it, and I saw one that just said, it said something songs, right? And I said, this looks like Tumex writing, or like, who's this? And I popped it in, and I was like, no way. Like, these are the lost songs. Like, this is a lost album that, it wasn't final mixed or anything. But I said, most of them are done. And I told Elemental James about it. And he's like, let's just get, let's just get it mastered and just put it out. Because we've been talking about this since 2006, 7 or whatever. You hear references to LimeWire and stuff like that on it.
Wow.
I was like, let's just leave that just to show how old this thing is. So. And we're like, let's just put it out. It's on Elemental's Bandcamp right now, but we're gonna put it out on all platforms within the month. So, but yeah, that was just one of those things where, and when I listened to it, I was like, oh man, this record just feels like so. Yeah, it just feels like Elemental and Tumex just going to it over J-Rock and Dirt from he was formerly of the Tunnel Rats, I believe. Dirt did a lot of the Dirt production and LD as well. I think J-Rock did the opening track and another track on it. And yeah, man. So that was literally like one of those within a couple weeks, within a few days of finding it, just got it out and put it up, and people were like, "What is this? Like, where did this come from?" We're like, it was there this whole time, just sitting in a box. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I'm glad I've been, breaking out my stuff and reorganizing and reconfiguring it, because I'm trying to archive everything, or trying to capture everything that I can. So
Yeah.
that was a record that I was super happy to find, though. Humble as Elemental to mix, humble as the style.
Almost like divine intervention, just doing a lot of work at the house and boom.
And it was funny because 2Mix just like a week before was like, man, I wish we could find that record. That she said that to me. I wish we could find that Elemental 2Mix record that we did. Like, that's how he talks about it. I wish we could find that record that we did. I was like, and I was like, I found it. He's like, no way. It was just, yeah. It said the disc. I'll send you a picture. It said something like L something, and just I was like, there's some weird code on it, and I think it's their album. And yeah.
Wow.
Scribble scrabble. I was about to throw it away too.
Oh wow.
That's
I was like,
insane.
huh? Because I only have a CD player on my MacBook. I have like a CD drive, and I just had it out when I was going through stuff. So one of those things, man. One of those things.
Like divine intervention there.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Man. Hey y'all, stay tuned. We've got more with Kool and with Era. Do not go anywhere. In this block of music, we have the latest from Rhyme Style Troop plus Nor Kin for Life and Nesma Nefertiti. Let's go ahead and get into another track from the Visionaries, and probably the track that everyone knows from them. If You Can't Say Love. Do not go anywhere, y'all. More coming up. This is Urban Suite KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
So was that disc found here in San Antonio?
It was. It was.
Yes!
It was.
Yeah!
It was found in my house because I was
Recorded here, but it was.
We'll claim it.
found in San Antonio. It was. In my house. I was like at my desk and just. Yeah, man. And I was like, everyone loses things and they lose their drives and they're like.
I was just telling him I found a bunch of old instrumentals like that. I'm just like, when I was always like, I never really rapped over my own production. I didn't think it was like that good, but I'm going back and listening to these. I'm like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing for me. Like, I just keep finding beat CDs, and it's just like, I was like, oh, I remember these. I made them on my ASR.
Keyboard?
Yep. I have an ASR 10 and an ASR 88.
I have one stolen. I had the Sonic. I had the
UPS
16 plus.
That's a Babu used to use. Yeah, I used to use the UPS. And me and Evidence were using the ASR. And we would always call it Cutmaster Kurt. The point is that Kurt used them, and then E. Swift used it. Obviously RZA, but I didn't know RZA.
Yeah.
But I figured out some stuff on it. They're like, I don't like the quantize. I'm like, you can nudge it, right? And I started, they're like, oh, so you can make your beats like swing different. They're like, no way, how'd you figure that out? I was like, just gotta hit the buttons, man. Start looking through all the menus, you know? Yeah.
Actually, speaking, you talked about Ice-T earlier. A friend of mine, I don't know if you remember Quizno, Karakusaki.
Yeah.
He did production for Ice-T, and that's how I met up with him when I was living in New York.
Yeah.
He grew up Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Yeah, which is just south of San Antonio, like Little Town. Yeah. But he was like wizard on the EPS. I remember I was like, that's what I like. He was the one that kind of showed me. Then I got into it. Probably like 2007.
Yeah, Blessings beat was on the ASR. Yeah. Ginger Slater on mine was tracked.
Hey, shouts out to Steven Valadez from Fake 4 Records on D Major's Facebook Live.
Good, Steven.
How are you, fam?
Steven, I think I just heard the announcement that Chesky's dropping the second part of the album in November. I think I just saw that. So
Okay.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, so you know we got to break that. I don't know if you can, get us that exclusive before it drops, but that would be dope.
I'm pretty sure Chesky be dropping.
I think so.
Track.
I think so too.
Yeah, we'll see.
Chesky's dope.
Oh my God.
Talented. So talented.
I've had the honor of getting to see twice. Did I get to see Chesky twice? 3 times. Oh, it is. I cry every time. He's so amazing. I want to see Brother Ali. And he made a post like last week, and I commented, and he commented back to me, so I was like just blown away by that. But he was talking about how since he's spoken out about Palestine, that no promoters have booked him. Like he's got 0 bookings throughout the summer, and I'm like, dude, if we had the funding, we would so bring you out because San Antonio loves you. And I think that's like, if I had that kind of money, I would put him on tour.
Yeah, that would be nice to get back because he came down for the benefit show when we had the
we went we
had
were there.
was it
Yeah,
Hurricane that
yeah,
happened?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
for Houston,
With
but they did
with
the show here in
Chino,
San Antonio.
Yeah, with Chino and Slug,
yeah,
K Reno and all.
yeah, that was an amazing show. R.I.P. Korova, right?
Right.
Yeah,
But the sound system there was horrible.
horrible.
They did.
It worked.
Fucking angel.
Right.
The bare minimum always.
But there was some good talent that went through. The Black Licious came out, the Gap came out there, and Deltron 3030,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Slick Rick.
Kid Koala, and they were all there.
Cool Keith.
Yeah, Kool. Yeah. So I mean,
Wow.
but I guess those underground spots, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The sound-
Can't we make an underground spot that just has great sound and great staff?
Have you heard anything from Angel since then? Or is he kind of?
No. I think Angel is just doing the little store he has, or the couple of stores he has with the comic books. And
I still call it
such.
Crossroads Mall, but
Yeah.
Wonderlands of America. Is that right? That's cool. Yeah, I was so like The Good Life and all that. You ever make? Well, 'cause I know you mentioned AC Lone earlier too. Like
Yeah, I wasn't involved in the Good Life. That was
Yeah.
all 2Mix.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in college at the time. I should have gone when I had a chance.
I mean, you don't know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, well,
I
one of
I've
my-
heard stories of just like even like Snoop being out there and
Yeah, I mean, I got a video of Alex Ryan with Biz Marquis at the Good
Oh,
Life.
wow.
It was 2Mix, Biz Marquis, yeah. That was like amazing. And yeah, I know that like I was in college at the time, and it's funny because my buddy's roommate was DJing at the Good Life too. So they're like, we're gonna go after this thing, and I had to go somewhere else. And I was like, I should have just gone out just to go, but I was involved in so many things at the time too. But I was just like, in hindsight, after it shut down, I was like, man, I should have gone.
what years like when is that?
That was like, it must have been 89, 90, 91. Yeah. Because the Project Load opened after, Project Load was after the Good Life had stopped doing stuff. And I was like, I regretted not like taking it, especially because his boy was like the other DJ, this guy named Curvin. And I was like, but that's how I heard about 2Mix back then. And then at that time, I got into the Rhyme Syndicate and stuff, so I was doing all kinds of other things. So I was just like, yeah, I'm caught up with college and just a million things, working 2 different jobs. So
So after this song, you ready to freestyle?
Yeah, for sure.
So let's dig out another two.
Steven, I hope you're ready for this. Era and Key are going to freestyle on some Alchemist beats.
Yeah. How do you should I just
Like right
Yeah, the arm just up and down.
right here?
Look, right there in the front.
Just go left, right, and then.
You gotta understand, right?
Yeah.
Make it go up.
Should we be straight on or
outside.
outside? Right. This is on the side right here.
Yeah.
Was that as far as that one goes up?
Subtle on it.
It goes this way.
That's stuck, right? I don't wanna like it. Yeah. I wanna break it.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
See how that goes.
Yeah. That's fine.
Don't mind me.
Huh?
Don't mind me.
Okay.
Earlier you said Steven? Is that Raw as well or no?
No, Steven Valadez.
Yeah, it's Raw. I know him as Raw as well.
Oh, okay.
But, what was that? The four? What is it? I can't. Yeah.
Fake four.
Yeah,
Fake
yeah,
Four. Yeah,
Four,
Fake
right?
Four
Yeah,
Records.
Raw as well. What's up, man? He used to come around. He was young, man. He was like in his teens.
Really?
Yeah. Early on when we were recording like paint by number stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Like 04.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
I've only heard him on a couple of songs, but I like.
No, he's got a dope style. I remember the first time I heard him, I was like, yo, who's that kid? That was about the same time I met Dacos. I don't remember Dacos. I remember the first time he was on a song called something Apes. And yeah, dope style. But yeah.
Make a quick announcement and then we'll get into it. KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is Airman Sweet D Major, Cheryl Meadow, Kool, and Era in studio. So, we're about to give you a treat, something that we haven't done in a while.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, are you ready for a live freestyle?
Yes,
Of
sir.
course. But of course.
All right. Well, everybody, stay tuned. We're about to get into this live freestyle. So, gentlemen, let me drop the beat.
Check. 2. Can you get that beat up a little bit?
You'll have to turn the headphone up in this style.
Oh, it's working. Yes. Check this out. This is Kool, kicking with Era,
Yeah.
D Major, Sherry Metal. Yo. Step in for the cleanup, beat the beat up, things are heating up against all odds about to even up. Those that believe in us are leading us, leaving us with no easy, but relieving the evilest demons with the swing of the cleanest cuts. Katana honor of a samurai, but she the once upon a time. How I'm living life for the moment, flying low, floating over smoke. You know what?
Yeah.
I'd rather go off the top and rock this the spot with D major, urban suite in the streets of SA, all over LA. Speaking my essay, bringing it to you from LACA all day. I live here now. I'll come clear now. Pass it the era, coming with the style, and it's coming so clear. Era.
Yo, we're different than the other cats, classic like the Thundercats. Why you even bother? We're known to drop an illa rap, paint by numbers. Little sucker, you forgot. We're about to jog your memory and lap around the block. I laugh a lot when I listen to what you drop. So I thought I'd take it back to the days of boom bap. Slap you up and wake you up and take you to the spot. This is real hip hop, so the trash you need to stop. Soda pop radio, gas you up a lot, but you need to be honest with yourself though. I see you on your cell phone clicking videos, trying to get your numbers up. I sit back and just chill while I'm sipping on this cup though. And yo, so you the king of your block, is that a fact though? When nobody on your block knows you rap though. Yo.
Oh, the villainy, time to claim responsibility. About to rock it to the best of my ability. We got the visionaries, village see. Time for my soliloquy. Coming with the positive artillery. They're not killing me, saying they're not feeling me. Critics keep grilling me. They don't know what the drilly be. It sounds silly, see I keep rocking until I'm free. All I care about is what God instilled in me. Still they be only concerned about the imagery, while the others keep on ravaging and pillaging, trying to get the feel back in the iller means. Where the blue pill, see what getting really means. We keep it really clean. Germany, the Philippines, LA to SA, and everything. It's been a dream. Winning with the winning team. Yo, I do this for the people, not the music industry, cause some don't understand that going platinum is a gift. Cause now you got a million people you could uplift, but most of these superstars are just pleading the fifth. They got a chance to speak, but they ain't saying spitting. If I try to get rich underground and get pissed, yo, I ain't trying to buy a bling necklace. In fact, I ain't compromising any of my ethics. I just got this message and I'm trying to spread it and get it into my people's head. While keeping my people fed, I won't put the mic down and go back to Nike Town. I might be clowned by those who suppose I should have chose to go the professional road, but instead I went into confessional mode. Fully understanding that it's a blessing to be shown love. Hip hop is blown up, B-boys is grown up, visionaries D major. Nobody owns us. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yo, thank you guys.
Hey!
It has been, like I said, it has been quite a while since we had quality freestyle in the studio, so I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you both. Good God. And man, like I said, we haven't heard you behind the mic in a minute, so.
That was beautiful.
And spectacular. You still. Oh God, if you were to get on stage right now. Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
You know, I teach middle school and even elementary now, but it's funny because I hear students, that's how I keep up with like some of the music, but I don't understand it a lot of times, and then every now and then I'll start rhyming in class and they're just like, but yeah, a lot of them don't believe me.
Until you have to show improvement, and they just fall back.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
That's right.
Man. Before we go any further, what do you have going on? Any plans with Gru? I know you just dropped Missing Link recently.
Right. So we got some new material that we're finishing up right now. We're gonna drop it. I'll give it to you first. We got some new stuff, and then we got some pretty big shows coming up. There's the Rhyme Fest in LA. And they're about to announce the other act. I can't reveal it right now, but right now it's like us, Living Legends, Freestyle Fellowship, Funk Dubious. Who else is on there? I think Cuber, DJ Newmark. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be at the LA Coliseum.
Okay.
So it'll be a big show for the summer. And like I said, we have some new material that we're about to get out. So we're just finishing all that up. And, always more visionaries, music, and just trying to get out and rock some more shows for the people. And
I was about to say, you just came from an event at the end of March. How did that go?
Oh, that was like a crazy, that was like an underground. It seriously felt like we stepped into 1997 LA. It was like
Word.
straight up underground. Like it was half underground hip hop, and then the rest of the night was like they had this jungle crew come out of the UK, and
Word.
I'd never seen them before, but they rocked it, and it was like all of us that were there seriously felt like it was big ups to Beatrix, DJ Beatrix, for throwing it in Concrete Jungle. It seriously felt like, I mean, so this is what happened. They had this really nice venue, right? It was like, it had a lounge, it had 2 rooms, it had 2 stages, it had a skate ramp and everything. And something happened with the venue where the cops, the police, the fire marshal, all these people came and shut it down after sound check. We had a dope sound check, and then they had to move it. So they moved it in the purest underground fashion to a warehouse in East LA. And we showed up there and we're like, it was bananas. It was just bananas. It started to rain. It was just crazy. But the vibe of it was like the people were just, I don't know, it was a special night because I think everyone was like, this feels like a true underground. Like, you had to find the fence to get in, like where you're going to come in. People are coming in. And it was like a madhouse, but the energy there was incredible, super incredible. So, yeah, we have another show with them coming up as well, I believe. So we got a few things lined up with people to give them the experience of kind of like the scene that we grew up, but hopefully they won't try to shut the next one down. But because the thing is, like you said, with every show that we do, we want the sound to be out of control, cracking for people, because when you get lyricists up there, when you get DJs up there, you just want good sound for everyone, and all these people that we've been working with through the years, like we know which venues, which promoters, which people bring it right. And it's like people used to be, it's underground, so it's going to be this way. No, it's got to be professional sounding. We all know what underground means. It's not just you have to have the worst of everything. It's underground because we exist outside of what the mainstream will present, and we're self-funded. We do things on our own, and we're considered underground because we're trying to escape the BS and the politics. Because in LA, you can't get venues sometimes because they're controlled by entities that won't take you in if you're not associated with certain other entities.
Yep.
And it's always like, that's why we have our own label. That's why we've existed like that since the 90s. So we're not worried about it. We just understand that the options are a little fewer, but not from city to city. So when we meet y'all here and we build, and I'm fortunate enough to move to San Antonio, and now I'm going back and forth. It's like we have to build this bridge and keep this community and connect the people like us here, like-minded people, and then the youth that have that energy and the right mindset. We're able to bring together events and like you said, when we stop through here, you come through LA, whatever, you know who to talk to in order to be put in the right places, and we help each other out, right? And that's what it's about. So that's what the underground truly is just having a network of people like all over the world, actually, like in Europe and Asia and all over but we're close enough. LA, like I've been here long enough to see how this is my second home now, or this is home to me now, and to know that good people are good people everywhere. Good music is good music everywhere, and good artists are good artists everywhere. And we all gravitate to each other, and we stick. And if you're not a good person, then I guess you won't be around. You know what I mean? So
sucks to be you.
Yeah, exactly. So I appreciate you having me here and reconnecting with this man right here, Era,
Yes, indeed.
and Cheryl.
Yes.
Thanks for giving me an opportunity.
Before I let you go, social media, how can people stay up with what you got going on?
I'm on Instagram at Kool, KEYKOOL, but you can also contact me through the Visionaries. It's at the Visionaries, and that's just the easiest way. Instagram at the Visionaries or at Kool, and if you want to message me there, you can. You got anything going on? I'm pretty good at responding to people, even though we get a lot. I'm good at responding to you eventually. even with you guys, I'm sorry it took me this long to get here.
That's
But
okay.
I'm here, and I thank you guys.
Oh, no. It worked out perfectly. And I'm so glad we were able to start that conversation and Mickey pick it up and you being here. Like, this is great. It's perfect.
How can people stay in contact with you, Aaron, as well?
Yeah, on Instagram, at Playback Radio. And just on Facebook, my government name, Erasmus Cisneros.
Yes, indeed. We appreciate both of y'all being here. Man, such a great night. Hey, do not go anywhere. More coming up in this block of music. We have a track from Blue Satellite plus The Empress. But let's go ahead and get into the latest from Cat Pack. This is Midnight. Do not go anywhere. This is the Urban Suite, KSYM, San Antonio College Radio.
Yeah, James Hernandez says, what a treat. And down here, Steven said he's on a Paint by Numbers track, went to highlights with Dacos, and thinks Era is talking about Apes of Wrath.
Apes of Wrath was the track. Yeah,
There you
he is on a Paint by Numbers track, but it didn't come out on the album. We did B-sides. We put out a B-sides CD, and he's on that. Yeah.
Steven, if you have that, make sure we get it. He said he goes by Savor One now. The SAV is my initials. The R is left from his old name, Roswell. Yeah.
I always thought that was a dope name,
Rawazwell. That is amazing. Steven, you're so fucking cool. We met him at HEB. I saw this
All places.
tall, big dude. He's like we're short. So he's like your height, and he's walking around and he's got this fake 4 hoodie. And I'm like, who the fuck in San Antonio is gonna have a fake 4 hoodie? Who else knows about them? But are some core people.
Right.
And so I seen him in line, and we were getting ready to go in line, and we pull up right behind him. And I'm like, yo, man, that's a dope sweatshirt, fake 4. And he turned around, and that was it. We were fast friends.
Yo, I remember we went out and like Concan, Rio. We did like a show out there, and I remember he was on a hammock. He slept on the hammock all night. And he woke up in the morning. He was like on the ground. I don't know if you remember that. I just remember right now.
Want to get some pics in real quick, baby?
Yeah.
Y'all.
Okay, let me get these cameras pointing this way because everybody likes watching me and my silly pics. Because I'm like a tourist with my pictures. There, this here. That up a little bit taller. I think this will get, no, this side. Okay, oop, there you go. Sorry. And thank you for saving the water in the phone before. Steven said good times. He remembers that. Okay, gentlemen, if you'd step on the other side, we'll do pictures separately and then pictures of the 3 together. Yeah, you go ahead, go first. And I'm going to do a set of 3. One from this side, one from this side, one from this side. You can do different poses with each one. Okay, and here is 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, and Era, get over there. We're gonna do the same, and then y'all will flank the man.
Talking about 49s, are you ready for the draft on
Yeah, I don't even know when it's gonna be, but
this
yeah.
Friday?
There's 1.
Thursday, actually. Yeah.
There's 2. There you go. and 3. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes. Perfect.
I appreciate that.
Man, thank you. Man with the coolest voice.
See, everybody tells him, man. He's like, oh, no,
Man with
no,
the
no,
coolest
no, no,
voice.
no, no.
With the smoothest voice.
You know his real name is Mickey Sweet.
I know.
That's such a dope. That's a dope.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought it was just like made up name because it sounds so dope. Like
I get jokes about my name all the time. You know, the Mickey Mouse, and then, are you really sweet? I have one dude actually like, that is the coolest porn name I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my. Oh my.
Who was it that sent your ID that one time? And it said Milky Sweet. Instead of Mickey Sweet, it was Milky Sweet. I'm like, that is your pimp name.
Wow.
funny.
Oh, that was a TPR.
TPR.
That's funny.
Wow.
Oh my God. But thank you.
Yes.
You know where we are now. You know where we are now.
Appreciate it.
When you get back home, if there's ever anybody that's up here that either one of you want to come see, whatever, you just hit me up and say, I'm on my way. I'll say bet, and you just let me know when you're at the door. Whenever there's any music to break,
Yep.
let us know. We would love to break it. We send out to a bunch of DJs locally and not to really push the breaking. And just thank you.
Thank you. You guys
And
always
thank
got
you. It was
the-
so good to see you. And
guys
thank
always
you for
got the
coming out
new
to
stuff,
Brunch
man.
and Beats again.
Oh, yeah,
I was bugging out.
That was
You
awesome.
played
Yeah.
like the Element of
You're
Madlib
doing
track.
like
I was
another
like,
brunch thing with
what? Really?
with Billy.
I was like, wow, you're on it, man.
No, that got canceled
okay.
because that
You
event
find
that
all
we
the,
were
yeah, I'm
at,
like,
later on in
Yeah,
that
I'm like
event, about
looking at stuff.
8:30,
I was
the
not able
promoters
to
that
get
had
to
the
it
9
because
o'clock and
I
after
didn't get it
booking
until late.
ended up
I
jumping
just got an
Billy.
email
And
from
she got him and a
Napoleon
bunch
the
of
Legend.
B-boys and
Oh,
B-girls
yeah.
and
This,
some...
yeah,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
got with
Yeah.
the-
Yeah,
like
see, I didn't know what
yeah,
that was
yeah.
either.
Yeah.
And then he
So I'll
inboxed
be
me and
working
said,
that
do
next
you
week.
know
Oh,
this
nice,
promoter?
nice, dope.
And I
Yeah,
said
that just-
no,
that
and then I went looking
just
and
came
I
out Saturday, right?
seen, and
No,
I was like,
after the-
okay, let me go.
Or
Start
or it's
asking
about
Actually,
questions,
officially
he
drops
knows them.
Friday.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I
That's
didn't
right.
know that.
That's right.
Okay.
And if I had it earlier, I would have broke it tonight.
Oh, yeah, that would have been perfect. Huh?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
And Billy's the
That's
most
all right.
peaceful
It's okay.
fucking person.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, no,
why
you
you
got
gonna
all,
jump him?
I'm like,
And
man,
Billy's
you're
only,
like, I
like,
look
had
at
how
like,
many
oh man, you
surgeries?
got everything.
Like, I am
Yeah,
Right.
that's
so
good, man.
This stuff I haven't even
they
covered
could
yet,
have
so
killed him.
sometimes 3 hours is done.
I know, right?
Because he is
right?
so-
That's the beauty of it, right? You get to
You know,
pace
he's
it out.
but-
Yeah.
And why get mad? Like the promoter
That's
was
good,
mad
man.
because Billy was still
thank you.
there at 8:30.
No,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
thanks
goes
for
up and
having
goes,
me,
clear the
man.
fuck
Of
out.
course.
And Billy's
Seriously,
like, who are you? And he's like,
She said,
I'm the promoter.
Feel
I
free to
have
hit us
9
up.
o'clock. He's like, well, hey, my
Well,
booking's
well.
until 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm
And
moving back
dude
to LA
was like
in-
not having it.
in May.
And instead of
Okay.
him
But I'll
going
be
and looking for the
we'll come
owner,
back
she
and
was
forth.
there.
Like I said, I got a brother-in-law
They
here,
jumped.
so
okay.
we sold a
And
house,
started to
got
brought
a new
something.
house
I'm
in
glad
LA,
you got
which
the
is
kids out
crazy.
early.
I'm like,
Good luck with the,
I think we left about
it's
7.
crazy.
Okay.
Prices.
yeah, I know.
See, and they were there
My
at like
goodness.
8:30.
I know.
Billy said it was about 8:30, 8:40 when the brawl
The
happened.
crazy thing, like,
The crazy thing, my daughter
If
said,
it wasn't for my mom being there
She wanted to
still,
leave.
and us, me having to help my brother and sister with her,
I don't
and
think I'm gonna survive
my
here.
wife's parents are still there. If it wasn't for that,
We left. That's
we
why
would
I'm
just
like,
be here. Like,
yeah.
be like, everyone come this way, but
you
see,
never
I
know.
can't move.
but
My
that's
mom's
what
coming
she-
here
And I
Wow.
said,
a couple
and I
months
was
at a
like,
time.
why
but
did you say
it's
that?
like now where she's out here, she
She was
gets
just
really
like-
sick.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
rough
that's what
because
she said.
You can tell her
Can't go
her
back over there
intuition
and-
was correct.
her healthcare's over there.
I'll give
It's
you, like,
Dude,
It's one of those things,
yeah.
she's 87 now. So,
Oh, wow.
so we're like,
Yeah, I didn't
it's
get
the timing now, but we're like, it's bittersweet.
Obscene.
That's all right. But like I said,
Yeah.
you've been here long enough, and you know where we're at.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Just tap in with it.
For sure.
Yeah, and we host a once a month hip hop brunch on first Sunday
Oh,
called
okay.
Brunch and Beats with the Urban Suite. Mickey interviews 2 creatives. If they're a beat maker and MC, you know, they give us a little set, and it gets, you know, Era was at the last one. It was real nice.
Okay.
It was real nice, and they do a real mean chicken and waffles for us.
Oh, wow.
They do.
Nice, nice.
And the kids are there. It's kid friendly. It's for the whole family.
Oh, okay.
So you see kids there. It may get a little rambunctious, you know,
Yeah.
but not with your kids, with the other. But it's a great atmosphere.
Nice.
And we're the only ones who are doing something like that for a Sunday brunch, so we love it. And we'd love to be able to, you know, once you get back, get you booked in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
For sure.
That would be cool. And then you'd really get to meet a lot of the core hip hop heads too.
Yeah.
People that you want to work with, you know, like this guy.
Right.
Thank you, man. I you know, they invited me up. I hope I told them I didn't want to impose or anything.
Oh,
I just
not
wanted
at
to-
all.
I
That
just
dude,
wanted
that makes it more.
hearing some of the stories, like I'm just like, yeah.
Oh,
so,
that makes it
Connecting the dots everywhere and like, oh my
I
god.
appreciate it,
Makes
man.
it fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, of course. Yeah, maybe I'll talk to Rhett, try and get him out here, because we got our 30th anniversary of Cosmonauts next year, so we're gonna be doing some stuff. So I'm like,
Let me make a quick announcement real quick. I do apologize. Real quick.
Clinics provide first aid, mental health evaluations, and routine health assessments. The clinics take face-to-face and telehealth appointments Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5. More information is online at nsym.org.
KSYM, San Antonio College Radio. This is the Urban Suite D Major. Cheryl Metal, stay tuned. We've got more great music coming up in our third hour, so please do not go anywhere. We're about to get into the latest from Lucy from the album They Say They Love You. This is Thunder Calling. Do not go anywhere, y'all. The third hour of the Urban Suite is coming up next.
you guys still broadcasting that?
Yeah. This was dope. This was definitely one for the books for us.
Yes.
Having both of you up here at this, oh my
You
god.
gotta give me your contact too.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me give you mine.
Phone number, yeah.
Yeah. Just text it.
Ah.
Oh, someone texted me. I love listening to you tell stories. That's fine.
What's this? James says, dope show. Appreciate y'all preserving the culture. Honey, you are so welcome. You know how we feel about you.
True that.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the lives. And we're going to get out of here shortly, too. Buttery smooth voice. Yes, sir. Yes, Steven. Yes, he does. But I'm going to end the lives, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. That was awesome. Oh, my God, that was awesome. I don't know how late we're going to be up tonight going, did that really happen?
Stay safe, stay dry. It's supposed to be wet this week, so be careful out there. And Viva Fiesta.
Viva Fiesta, you guys. Love you, Steven. See you later.
That's where Eric comes from. ERA and then SMO. Erasmo.
And thank you, James. Thank y'all for jumping in here. Appreciate